And now I am moving on to Tiddlywinks. I could have done a story about the game, but I was thinking Tiddlywinks sounds like a great name for a pet, so I went off on this, and it's very much inspired by when I went and got my first pet, which was a rabbit called Benjamin. So yeah, that's what this is inspired by. Lots of rabbits, lots of fluff, both on the rabbits and in the story. Very funny. So yeah, enjoy. She gazed in awe at all the wondrous rabbits in front of her playing in their pets at home habitat. There were fluffy long-haired ones, neat short-haired ones, black ones, white ones, black and white ones, brown ones and grey ones. They were all tremendously adorable and huggable. There was an enormous decision ahead of her that she had to face, and they were all so darn cute. Some of them were lazily lounging about on the straw-covered floor, others zoomed in and out of the cardboard tunnel tubes. Some were eating pellets and drinking from the water bottles, and some were eating the cardboard tunnel tubes. Most of them had smooth, chocolatey eyes. One had red eyes, which made it look like a bloodthirsty vampire rabbit. And one rabbit had one bright blue eye and one soft brown eye. "What's wrong with that one?" she said, pointing at the black and white rabbit with odd eyes. "It's called heterochromia," said her dad. "Huh?" "Heterochromia is when someone has two different colour eyes," he said. "Is it ill?" "No, it was born with it. It's just something that makes him special," he said, smiling at his young daughter. "Cool," she said excitedly. "I want him, he's special." "Yes, he is, just like you," he said, tickling her ribs and listening to a beautiful high-pitched giggle. While her dad sorted out the paperwork for the purchase, she stared at her soon-to-be best friend. He was very fluffy. His hair stood out like a lion's mane, framing his twitchy nose, and his ears were tall and pointed as he covertly surveyed his surroundings. He began scrunching his nose tightly and soon began to scratch at it. He then licked his hands clean with his little pink tongue that poked out of his mouth, exposing his long front teeth. He was perfect. A woman came to put him in a box for them to take home, and she immediately began to miss him. She was desperate to see him and to stroke his fur. She could not wait to begin their future together. She followed her dad to the till, her eyes carefully glued to the box. She sent waves of calmness to him because she knew if she was suddenly taken from her home and put in a box that she would be very nervous. She whispered through the cardboard and told him that it was all okay and that they would be at his new home soon. She didn't see how her dad smiled at her. He watched her innocence with awe and his heart melted. "Have you decided what to call him yet?" She pondered for a moment, needing all her brain power to contemplate the perfect choice of name. "I'm going to call him Tiddlywinks," she said, nodding affirmatively. "Tiddlywinks? Why Tiddlywinks?" "Why not?" she said, smiling at her new best friend. So yeah, that's the story, and the rabbit itself is actually based on the second rabbit I had after my first one. Benjamin sadly died after 2 years and 2 months of having him. Yeah, he died because of complications after having surgery for his teeth. He was born with malformed teeth, and I remember crying a lot. But yeah, the rabbit with heterochromia is based on my second rabbit, Peter, who actually did have one brown eye and one blue eye. He was so sweet, and I loved him, and he was like so fluffy.